What often fascinates people is whether bodybuilders can fight. How effective is real bodybuilding for real street fighting?
The truth is I am twice your size, whether you want to admit it or not. I am twice your size, and you know, that I definitely would have an advantage in the fight.
People always debate who's better in a real street fight, a bodybuilder or a skinny guy.
How much you weigh, Ron?
127.
wait, how much?
127.
Kilograms?
Pounds.
All right, guys. He's 127 pounds, all right? And he's half your size, Papa Muscle.
Let's face it, big guys look intimidating, but can they generate enough power to punch hard enough to hurt you? Sure, you can be strong, but does that mean you can punch harder and faster than a skinny guy? The answer to this may partly answer the main question. Does having more body mass mean that you will be better off in a real fight? Well, today we're going to look at the science and the logic behind the argument that bodybuilders can fight. Real fighting requires a lot of energy, both physically and psychologically. Ordinarily, you'll drain very quickly. In fact, more muscle means more of a draw on your body's resources. In a real fight, what's more important is how you use your body, not what it looks like. Therefore, the question relates to the generation of force. How much force can you generate in your punch? Punching hard and fast relies on the ability to generate a large amount of force in a short period of time. To punch hard, you have to have the ability to accelerate your fist from 0 to 100 as fast as possible. But it's not just the acceleration that's important, it's the weight of your fists. Think of a heavy mass travelling at high speed. The mass travelling at speed hits with more power. It does more damage. A typical bodybuilder will struggle to generate this amount of force unless they enhance their kinetic chain. At an advanced level, to punch hard, you need to be able to disassociate the weight of your arm from your fist. Basically, your fist is a dead weight, your arm is the whip. Think of a ball and chain. Now watch the bodybuilder here punching the ball. Note how he's unable to generate force towards his fist. This is because he's not turning with his hip enough to create the whip. Essentially, he needs to relax more, to whip more. He's not completely using his kinetic chain to develop power, something you'll struggle with if you concentrate on bulking your body. Compare this to seasoned fighters. You'll see how they turn and generate force with a greater amount of torque with their bodies. Now, I'm not saying big guys can't fight. Obviously, if a big guy gets hold of you in a grappling situation, then you're going to have a hard time initially. However, I will say if you can weather the storm, big guys do burn out quite quickly. That aside, it's more of an issue of functional fitness training. Look at powerlifters. They can generate enough force and momentum to accelerate an Olympic bar above their heads. Imagine that power could be harnessed to punch harder. In reality, the issue of whether bigger guys can punch harder relates more to the ability to move your body mass quickly over a short distance. Engaging the kinetic chain of movement between various joints, as in powerlifting. To do so, you have to have a degree of flexibility in your muscles and joints, and this is something a pure bodybuilder is unlikely to have: flexibility. So comparing to skinny guys, Bruce Lee would be a good example. He relied on the concept of short distance power. He contracted his muscle mass in a sudden fashion to generate an immense amount of force and power. In fact, he relied on a tremendous amount of speed as part of his equation for power generation. Smaller framed people with a higher muscle and twitch rate ratio are likely to generate more power than an oversized frame. So what's the takeaway from this video? It's not necessarily your size, but the way you use your body. Try to include as much functional weight training as possible into your fight training. Weight training is effective for fight training, but it's the way that you use them that counts. Overall, I wouldn't advise bodybuilding only for self-defense or fight training. However, I do suggest that you train your power development with weights, especially if you wish to punch harder and faster. Finally, to answer the question, can bodybuilders fight? Well, yes they can to a certain extent, but you'll seriously limit your ability to fight the larger you become. Thanks for watching.
You're fighting someone half your size, So all I got to say is, if you don't accept this fight, you're done, man. You know, don't embarrass yourself like that.